Hello and welcome to the live trading room recap for Wednesday, September 16th. My name is Barry Enerson. I'm the moderator of our trading room, and this is the address to get into the room. You can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. Bleak day today. Bleak in that hardly anything for me, that hardly anything moved for me. Now, I am in one trade right now. It may save my day. Um, this is why I took it. Now, here's on the daily chart, and you can see there's 309 right there. Obviously, 1340 is way up there. Right there is 248. These are all sort of, I suppose, resistance areas. Why I took it is if we get to the 5-minute chart, you can see we had this little spike here. And let me just get this a little bit bigger. And I took the trade right here at 133. Here's the spike up. You see it actually popped up to 138. I said in the room that if we get a bid, if we can get over this area, then we have a little bit of room to run. So remains to be seen what might happen on that. Why I took the trade? It was on my low floaters on the move, and basically these are the settings in it. This is just what I like to see. Float is less than 15 million, so they're just kind of snuck in there. EFOI was a good one. I just found it very difficult to get into. I know some people did, but it's only 3.6 million, so it can really move. In fact, I'll bring up a daily. You're going to see how crazy it was over the last couple of weeks. But at any rate, I'll see what happens on this one, and let's just bring up EFOI. And you see what I'm talking about, especially on the daily chart. If you're not familiar with this one, well, here we go. There's on the 5-minute, and $25. In fact, I think it was even higher. If I go to a daily chart, yeah, look at that, 29.24, all the way from down here at $9, and herky jerky action, but almost straight up. And then it finally had a couple of days of really big falling from grace days, especially this one, and now it looks like it's trying to recover. I would be inclined if you would put a broker alert at $18 on your. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put an $18 alert on this. Because if it can get through there, then obviously, we have a big void on top that it could start to fill. I have no idea why it went up. I have no idea why it went down. But, definitely put an 18 alert on there and see what happens. Now, today, again, tomorrow's FOMC, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock Pacific, sorry, 2 o'clock Eastern time. Everybody is waiting to see whether the Fed raises interest rates or not. And that's why this week has been very slow. In my opinion, anyway, this is very kind of range bound. Stocks that we look at, they move a little bit and then they come back, move a little bit and come back. That nothing really sustained. I really think yesterday I got very lucky with that PEB that had a massive reversal for us. Otherwise, it would have been basically the same sort of day. Let's see, I did take this trade, QEP. There we go on the daily. Let's take a look at it on the 5-minute chart. And it's still pretty good, actually. Let me just get this a little bit bigger here. Why I took this is because if you take a look at the spider sector, my spider sector list, you see oil was up. This is in the oil services industry. I don't know if it's oil service or just a pure oil play, but oil was up today. And when at the time when this was happening, both OIH and where's the oil XLE were at the top of my spider list. And I had seen this. I'd been triggered many times. I just didn't get into it. But I thought, you know what? Let's take one of these oil plays. It's sort of a chase, but I watched it go through 13, a little bit of a pullback, and then on this candle, I decided to take the trade. Got in at 1308, exited actually both times. I exited on the way up at 1325 and on the way down at 1325, and then kind of lost sight of it. And it's kind of been all over the place. And what did I also trade? I traded X-Ray, made pennies on that. HPQ, Hewlett Packard. This was probably the play that I really wanted. But again, very up and down. Nothing really steady. Hard to day trade things like this. I got in actually around 28.05 and I sold at 28.16 and 28 for a loss on the second part. It popped back up, but I mean it's very hard. The only other one, again, had high hopes for this one, probably illustrating why it's always good to have a stop. Um, this is one I took a loss on, and let's see, watched this for a long time. Now, here's where it closed yesterday, 81.72. So it had the downturn. Do I have the pre-market? Pre-market. Okay, whoops. Pre-market. Okay, it didn't look like it traded very much in the pre-market, but at any rate, it started to fall a lot, and so this came down. This was on another one of my lists, a weak stock list or something, but kept watching it right around here. You see how it looked like it was trying to go, then back down, trying to go, back down, trying to go, and I basically said if it could get above this spike right there, that I would be interested in taking the trade. I took the trade at $80.30, had a little pop up to $80.40. This looked quite encouraging. Obviously, you see something like this, a couple of nice green candles, big void to fill, but it just didn't work. And I exited the trade at for a 12-cent loss down in this area here at 18 right there. Yeah, I just figured that once this red candle happened, and then the next one, I thought, okay, I just don't want to hang around and get caught. And luckily, I did. Thank goodness for stops. Even though I generally have mental stops. I don't have auto stops, but this just started to look weak to me. And again, luckily, I did. It may recover later on. I mean, there's another hour and a half left in the market. I suppose if the market gets a rally and it could start to move and get above here, I would take a look at it again. And also speaking about that in terms of sort of a gut feel. This one really was a kind of a gut feel because, as I said in the room, this was more of a chase. I was looking at this on a 15-minute, and if you look on a 15-minute, there was really no entry. But again, it broke through the whole number. Oil was hot. The sector was hot. I had been alerted to it all the way up here. I thought, you know what? I just have to take a flyer on it. Take the trade at 1308. Put my stop, at the whole number. So really only risking 8 cents. Again, this is not trading 101, believe me, but it was just more of a gut feel with oil going up, and it did work out. And that is it. Just taking a look, keeping an eye, of course, on this CLDN trade. If it can break above here, obviously had there's some enthusiastic buyers that took it up here. They kind of got whacked down, but this is encouraging. This action is actually kind of encouraging on the 15-minute chart. Looks like it's trying to hold a low float stock. If it can just catch a bit, get some more volume into it. The volume isn't great on it right now. Let's see the volume. Well, at the time it was 462,000 shares. So I mean that's not bad, but and let me. Do I have the? No, I don't have the relative volume up on this one. But at any rate, have to see what happens. If it can close above here and close in the 140s, I don't swing trade very often, but I may in fact hold this one as long as it can close near the high of the day and be kind of settled going into the high of the day in the last half hour. In other words, it didn't have a big drop, big push up, another big drop, and then it closes at the high of the day because it still would be uncertain. I mean, the buyers and sellers are still kind of jockeying for position, and so that's not how I like to see. If I'm going to take this is kind of what I look for in a stock that I may swing. I take a look at stocks that are under $10, number one. If they've gone up or down about 4 or 5% minimum, and with abnormal volume, and in the last little while, good, I've got a new transfer coming in. This is in the RBI and the GBI. There was a little bug in it, so hopefully that's going to fix it. But anyway, as I was saying, if the stock can finish near the high of the day, but also in the last 30 minutes to 45 minutes, it wasn't erratically trading. So it's basically closing near the high of the day, but kind of steady in that last 35, 45 minutes. And of course, I have to look at the daily chart to make sure that there's some room. Those are the ones that I will tend to swing. Again, I'm not a big swing trader, but I just have to keep an eye on this one to see if that's what I do. All right, that is it. Tomorrow's FOMC. I really expect a very, very quiet day, especially after the first hour. If you don't trade after the first hour, I think a lot of people will just be sort of sitting on their hands. So, okay, let me just bring back the cover page. Here we go. Again, here's the address to get into our room, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. See you tomorrow.